Welcome back, everybody. Wednesday, Thursday. Okay, here's our Wednesday, Thursday activity. Now, making the video for class is a little bit messy compared to reality because we're in different places. Okay, period 4 had a different discussion than period 5, and we made it to different points on the survey. So the most important thing is this week, how will you change the world? Okay, musically, writing, inventing, creating, families. What is it that you're going to do to make the world a better place? Okay, this is our spring is here. It's inspiration week, and your generation is going to change the world. So the very first thing we talked about the other day was the idea of Mars, 170 million miles away, and the idea of ingenuity, and the first time a helicopter, a remote control helicopter, is going to be on a foreign surface. Oh my. Did anybody Google Mars, look up photos, have a conversation? If you're a Facebook fan, did you look at NASA Mars rover Facebook and rotate to 360 degrees? Anybody do that? Okay, again, we're all at different places in the two classes because of these discussions. So, our goal today, continue the discussion of inspiration, continue the discussion of the survey, because we want to make sure that every one of you did a great job filling out the survey. Not great for us, because we need to be better. Great because you're put in all those little details that helps us to realize what we need to do to be better as teachers. All right. So once those discussions are done, on Monday, Tuesday, again, explore, dream, discover. Don't be afraid to go out there. We need you to invent. Serious. Just like the COVID vaccine, we need inventors. We talked about SOH CAH TOA, and we looked at a half a dozen examples, and we started to chant, right? The OPP, the HYP, the ADJ, right, and the reference angle. Okay, so we went through these problems, and this was page 1. Let's flip to the back side, because even in our video, we didn't do that. So, on the back side of the first sheet, let's just get started. Using SOH CAH TOA to label each triangle, tell which function can be used to solve for x. All right, so the very first thing I want to make sure that we do is everybody pause the video and go through and label the reference angle in each one. Let's do that first this time, okay? So pause the video, label reference angle, go. The REF, the REF, the REF, the REF, and the REF, and the REF. All right. Now that we labeled the reference angle, we now know across from the reference angle is the OPP. Always across from the 80 degrees is the HYP, the hypotenuse. So, again, pause the video and go through and label the OPP, the ADJ, and the HYP. All right? Go. All right. Across from the reference angle is always the opposite, the OPP. Next to the reference angle is always the ADJ, the adjacent. And across from the 90 always is the HYP. Okay? So, across from the reference, the OPP. Next to the reference, the ADJ. Across from the 90, the HYP. Okay? Take a moment and do every one. Okay? The easiest way to learn vocabulary is to use it. Across from the reference is the OPP. Across from the 90 is the HYP. And next to the reference is the ADJ. Across from the reference, the OPP. Next to the reference, the ADJ. Across from the 90, always is the hypotenuse, the HYP. Okay? Again, the OPP, the HYP, the ADJ, the OPP, the HYP, and the ADJ. All right, so now the actual assignment said which one of the functions, SOH CAH TOA, are we going to use? All right, so change colors here. We have an angle, we have the OPP, and the HYP. Oscar has. SOH. So we write that. The sine of 40 degrees is equal to x over 2. Okay? And next week we'll work on practicing solving all these. This is just a simple math problem once we get our calculator out. Okay? So let's just keep going. I've got an angle. I've got the OPP. I got the HYP. Oscar has. So the sine of 60 degrees equals x over 6. Let's keep going. Okay, pause the video at any time that you need. We've got an angle. We have the OPP. We have the HYP. Oscar has. So the sine of 20 degrees equals 15 over x. And we'll work on solving for x next week. Okay, this one. We have a reference angle. We got an opposite side. We have the hypotenuse, OH. So the sine of 5 degrees is equal to 2 over x. Keep going. Okay? Angle, OPP, HYP. So the sine of 25 degrees is equal to square root of 11 over x. Keep going. Angle, OPP, HYP, the sine. So the sine of 63 degrees is equal to 3 radical 2 over x. Again, next week we'll solve that. All right? So, good job. A lot of writing. Okay? Let's keep going. All right. So now, again, depending on the class, each class is at a different pace. Okay? Mr. Miller's going to hand out page 3. Okay? And we do the same thing. All right? We got 6 plus some word problems. Okay? So I'm going to do the first 2 here for this video, and then we're going to go do this real world type problem. Okay? So let's get started. All right. Very first thing. Label, label, label. The REF. Once you know the reference angle, we know that across from the reference is the OPP. Next to the reference angle is always the ADJ. Across from the 90 is always the HYP. All right. So in this case, we've got an angle. We have the adjacent and the hypotenuse. Which one is adjacent over hypotenuse? CAH. 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 The cosine of 40 degrees is equal to x over 2. Good. Let's try another one. We've got the REF, the reference angle. Across from the reference angle, the OPP. Across from the 90, always the HYP. Next to the reference angle is always the ADJ. So in this case, we have a reference angle, the adjacent, and the hypotenuse. A heap of apples. CAH. CAH. So the cosine of 60 degrees is equal to x over 6. All right? So, again, next week we'll worry about solving them. This week it's all a matter of recognizing the relationships of the triangle. Okay? there's a song, a dance, a rhythm. As one angle gets bigger, the other side gets bigger. As that angle gets bigger, the other one has to get smaller because all triangles are 180 degrees. Okay? All right. I'm going to skip these next 4 because I want to do a couple word problems in this video. Okay? All right. A boat travels in a following path. How far north did it travel? Again, feel free to pause the video in class, have a discussion. How many people have been on a boat lately? How many people go to the lake? How many people got a cabin? Right? Boats. Boats don't have to travel over and up, right? Boats can travel across the water. So in this case, how far did the boat travel? Okay, here's the path, right? So, boat travels in the following path. Boom. So this is going to be our X. So here's our REF, the reference angle, the OPP, and this will be our HYP, and this will be our ADJ. Again, we have the ADJ, we're looking for the hypotenuse, AH, Ka, Ka. The cosine of 23 degrees is equal to 45 over X. Okay? Pause the video. You try the last one. Alright, welcome back. Again, label, label, label. We got a reference angle. Across from the reference angle is the OPP. Across from the hypotenuse, or from the 90 is always the hypotenuse. That means this is the ADJ for the adjacent. During a group hike, a park ranger makes the following path. How far west did they travel? Okay, north, north, west, east, south. Now, Mr. Miller and I, we're going to grade you based on what you do, the math that you do. As we read these word problems, it can be confusing which one we're looking for, right? A boat travels in this path. Well, was this the path, or was this the path, or was that, right? Okay, so you might read them differently. The way we read this problem, we have the OPP looking for the ADJ, opposite, adjacent. Which one is opposite and adjacent? Which one's opposite and adjacent? SOH CAH TOA, TOA, alright? So, TOA, the tangent of 12 degrees is equal to 2 over X. Okay, so, thanks for doing that. We're in 15 minutes in this video. You guys may have had a class discussion in the first few minutes. You may have had a further discussion about the Mars rover and Ingenuity. Okay, then I paused the video. You could have had class discussions on this, so we're probably in 30 minutes. Okay, yes, there is a backside, more word problems. We have plenty of time to do these next week. All right, so now what we'd like to do is I'm going to end this video because we want to do Mathia in class this week. No at-home Mathia necessary unless you want to for extra credit. So this video is going to end and I'm going to come back and we're going to go to Mathia. See you in a minute.